Chantal Crawford is gathering up horses for a family ride in the countryside. The goat is curious. Rusty is rolling on the ground. Husband Steve is saddling up Pistol Pete. And the kids are doing their part. The Crawfords live on a ranch 45 minutes northwest of Sundre. And while Chantal's quick to tell you they have a couple hundred head of cattle, she won't say how many horses she has.
We never count how many horses, because then I might have to get rid of a few, so.
Chantal loves her horses. Today, husband Steve is riding Pistol Pete. She's on Hunter. Tennille is on Chloe. Zoe has Split. And Gus is coming up the rear on Mouse. Growing up west of Sundre, Chantal has always lived and loved the rural lifestyle.
I love the nature. I love the beauty of where we live. It's safe. It's the best place to raise my kids.
When she was younger, being a nurse was not the plan at all.
I'm a lover of animals, all things animals, and so I originally was going to be a veterinarian.
That changed when she and her 15-month-old son had to stay at the Calgary Children's Hospital. 7 months pregnant and exhausted from a couple nights of no sleep, she was so impressed with what the nurses did for her.
They set him up with coloring pad and stuff to write, and they entertained my son while they did their charting for probably a good 2-3 hours, just so I could get a few hours of sleep, and they were so compassionate to my needs.
That inspired her to enter the nursing program at the University of Alberta. When she graduated as a registered nurse, she chose to practice in Sundre.
The thing that drew me to Sundre the most was you could come into work here at any time, and there was a culture of really good work ethic, but everybody was always helping each other. The doctors were nice to the nurses were nice to housekeeping. There was just such a sense of community within the hospital.
She started practicing here in 2008, became clinical nurse educator in 2016, and then site leader in 2019.
If you don't step up to the plate and try and make a difference, then you have no right to complain.
Her goal was to increase staffing levels to relieve the stress on her team, provide more educational opportunities so staff felt more competent, and ensure the highest level of patient care possible. This morning, she is making the rounds with assistant head nurse Jody Ann Wood.
When I go out to the floor and I talk to the patients, I try to do that a couple of times a week, and they're like, oh yeah, by far, we have the best care here. Your staff are amazing. They're always giving us great care. They're looking after all of our needs.
Chantal loves a challenge. Good thing, because in the past 5 years as site leader, she's been stampeded by challenges.
Starting to get a little nervous about these ones.
Soon after she started, COVID hit. There were hospital renovations, staffing and physicians shortages, introduction of a new clinical information system called Connect Care, a new wound care clinic, along with natural disasters in her area, including tornadoes and wildfires.
She's on call for her staff. Many a night she has sped down the highway because they've got a crisis at work.
Man, that girl can think on her feet. Something comes up, she can pivot, make it work. And I think part of that's, her ranch farm girl growing up. You fix what you can with what you've got.
Chantal welcomes new initiatives. Take the time that Dr. Jonathan Somerville approached her about setting up the only rural ketamine clinic in the province. It would offer relief to desperate patients suffering from severe depression.
Any new project, there's always a lot of uncertainty, and it can be easy to kind of stand back and be a little afraid to venture into the unknown. But when I brought the idea up to Chantal, there was just no sense of, no, that's too complicated. The thought was, let's just get right in there and make it happen.
I'm cleared.
Sure.
Resume CPR.
Chantal and Jonathan are also part of the team that brought an eSIM simulation training center to Sundre. It's the first of its kind in rural Alberta and saves local health providers from having to travel to other communities for training. Chantal and Jonathan were both there the day that a private helicopter arrived at the hospital with a seriously injured victim of a grizzly bear mauling.
I love a challenge. Anything I do in life, I always want a challenge, and so a real trauma patient is probably one of the biggest challenges we're going to see in Sundre.
Chantal still had a very good overview of what was happening and really functioned as a team lead with all that was happening, with multiple doctors, multiple nurses, paramedics. She had this kind of sense that brought everything together.
She's long been an advocate of high school skills events that introduce students to health careers in their area.
So we're just starting to see the rewards of it, but now we do have a couple that did the high school skills day, and now they're working on the floor as nurses.
During a recent event that introduced med students to rural life, she got her husband Steve to host a goat milking station. It was one of the students' favorite stops of the Amazing Race event.
She has a phenomenal high work ethic, just unbelievable.
Congratulations, Chantal, on being selected as the 2025 RhPAP Rhapsody Healthcare Heroes Award recipient.
I have the best staff. They are fantastic, and they make me look good at doing my job because they're so good at their job.
Chantal, over the last 15 years, I have watched you grow from a cocky new grad to a confident, competent clinical nurse educator, and now an outstanding manager. Your resilience and passion for rural healthcare makes me so proud to be able to offer my congratulations.
Chantal, I am so happy that you received this award. You are so deserving. We so appreciate you, and we're so blessed to have you in our community.